Hey everybody, time for a little bit of an unboxing today. I got this shirt doing demos at PAX West, and I also entered a draft over the weekend. I went 2-1 in Altered in the draft and got this playmat. So excited to have my own playmat now. The art is gorgeous on this. I've got some other surprising things too that we can show off. One of them, I got this package from my team in France. Aaron sent this over to me. So this has some playmats for me and some of my other teammates in the US, so they sent these all over, and it also has my prize that I got for getting top 8 in the ExAlts tournament. So for 4 months they had qualifiers, and then the 2 winners from each of the seasons, essentially, the first and second place, got to compete in a top 8. It didn't go the best for me, but just by qualifying for that, I got a prize, so yeah, let's see. Let's take a look at this, what we've got in here. Okay. So let's see. It looks like each of these has their own individual packaging. Let's bust one of these out quick and compare. Oh, nice. Alright. So this picture, and the first one on top. This is my top 8 prize, signed by Regis himself. Alright, that's pretty cool. I already got a playmat signed by the game maker. Nice. Yeah, I really like the way the art on this turned out. This picture's kind of been embraced by the ExAlts for a lot of their logos and art. And so yeah, you can see, let's see, in the bottom over here we've just got the normal Altered logo, the name of the artist, and then on this other side, bring it over here, we've got ExAlts Championship Top 8. So yeah, pretty excited to use this. Maybe even in October I'm gonna be going to the tournament from Gamers Guild, so that one happening in October, first kind of like regional event. Maybe I'll be rocking this playmat. Alright, so that's not yet. Next, my Kickstarter pledge arrived as well, so let's take a minute to open up that. Alright, so next, slightly bigger box, we've got the Kickstarter pledge here, I believe, from Quartermaster Logistics. I feel like I didn't even order this much stuff. Let's see what's inside. So I got like one of the medium pledge tiers. It came with just 2 starter decks and several displays. I didn't do a ton of add-ons. I was just planning to buy some of those things locally, and I've already gotten quite a few playmats, so I guess I'll be covered there. Alright. Let's see. First we've got the Akisha starter deck. I really like how they were pretty efficient with a lot of this packaging. I saw some of the acrylic tokens and things too, and they come in like basically like the smallest packaging possible for what you're getting. So I'm sure that's gonna help a lot with shipping and not make it just so that you're paying like more for just like a larger box that's gonna be empty. So this is gonna be pretty stacked right here. Each of these starter decks, it's gonna have one whole deck. Punch out tokens that you could use for all of the characters. So even if you don't get the starter deck for each hero, you'll still have the markers and everything you need for them. I believe we've got a paper mat in here too. Yeah, these are pretty dense. I'm excited to bust them open. Oh, and then the star of the show. Look at this. Alright, the Shenlong himself on the art right here. We got one of these. Oh yep, another, and then the last 2. So yep, we're gonna have some pack openings now, I guess. Super excited, everything made it here safely. Yeah, everything's in great condition. I can't wait to open the rest of this. Alright, let's jump into this pack opening. I'm super excited, hoping to get some good uniques, maybe something that I can use in the tournament coming up in October. I'm gonna be going to the Gamers Guild tournament. They're hosting one of the first regionals, and I heard Justin maybe and some of the people from Equinox will be there too. It's going to be 128 players. You can register now. My box is getting a little bit messed up here opening it, but nothing too bad. Okay, let's pick out some of these and get this out of the way. So while I'm doing this opening, I'll just be talking about some different subjects, things that have happened recently that I think are worth talking about, sharing my experience from PAX and stuff like that. So yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about is just the end of the Kickstarter. We finally have it now in our hands. We're going to be going through it. So how did that go? I feel like it was a pretty quick turnaround. We were able to get basically everything close to on time. The original anticipated delivery date for these cards was July, and so it ended up getting pushed back, and we didn't get this, and then it was changed to August. I didn't end up getting it until September, so things definitely got pushed back a little bit. No unique there in the first pack, but I will need these Quetzals for my some of these cards, yeah, for my Waru deck, so nothing bad there. But I feel like that it wasn't an unreasonable turnaround. It took about, yeah, so I think that puts us about a month later than anticipated, maybe a little more, since they did push back the actual date for the release of the game as well. Then we still are receiving our stuff just a little bit before the actual retail release, so that is good. Let's see, we got the Brass Bug, Navenka. These foils look really nice. I'm glad that they didn't just do like one foil over everything, but you can see like even like in the little hair piece, they put like a little extra foiling on the blue sections and stuff to make it stand out. Everything looks really nice. But yeah, the delay was a little bit. My channel now, I think it's been about a half a year since I posted my first video, so nice to collect these alt arts. I'll definitely want to hopefully get one of each of those in the rare, so that's a good pickup. And now, looks like we've got the Ortis box, but yeah, we're gonna get an attorney here, our first unique. When my expedition fails to move forward during dusk, after rest, you may return a spell from your reserve to your hand. Probably like just a variation there of the typical effect, but now this extra effect we also have, when I go to reserve from the expedition zone, draw a card. Some pretty decent stats here. I don't know if this is like the most powerful card, but it definitely seems playable, so yeah, a nice first unique pickup. As I was saying though, it's been a half a year since I posted my first video. I recently, over the weekend while I was at PAX West, hit the requirements to be monetized, so yeah, that's super exciting. I feel like it's kind of crazy. I'm glad I started the channel early because yeah, right before getting my product, I was able to essentially get monetized, so it's been quite the journey, and I'm super excited now to be moving forward. Gonna be able to start making videos with real cards, so it's cool to be able to start picking up these starter decks, my unique foiler here, my actual cards, get these nice play mats that I can use for you guys as well. So yeah, thank you so much again for supporting. I feel like the channel within maybe a month or so will be hitting 1,000 subscribers. It's kind of crazy. Each check mark, it just goes like faster and faster. So yeah, I really appreciate all of you and all of like the comments and likes that the videos get. It is super fun to be able to like respond to all of you and have those conversations going in the comments. Happy to see this card. I feel like this is super strong in Subhash and Trace, so yeah, I'll definitely be looking to get a play set of those. Might have to trade if I don't pick up some of them. Nice Altered Baba Yaga here, so that's a pretty cool pickup too. Definitely hoping to get one or two of the unique Altart cards that come foiled. We'll see, yeah, if we're lucky enough to get any of those. Also, always looking for that golden booster, so yeah, it would be awesome if we could pick up one of those and get 10 uniques from it. But let's see what we've got. A common foiler, traced. So I was briefly mentioning this. I went to PAX West over the weekend. It was kind of a surprise. I wasn't planning originally to go and help out, but I'd done the altered demos locally, and so I was just kind of in the right channels and things for that, and they sent out a message saying that they needed someone extra. I responded to it and then was told that they weren't going to need my help. Oh, there we go, the second one of these. So I'm actually almost at a playset now. I'll hopefully be able to get another one between the rest of the displays. But yeah, I just reached out, was told I wasn't going to go, and then kind of like last minute, I think it was like a day or maybe like a day and a half before, I found out that they did have an extra spot, and so I had to just like make my plan super last minute. Didn't know necessarily if I was going to be able to have a hotel or like what everything was going to look like, but got ready to make the drive, made the plans, and wow, I'm so glad that I went. It was an amazing experience. I spent 4 days. I got this shirt. I was doing the altered demos the whole time basically, and I got to meet a lot of you. I got to meet a lot of people who were learning Altered for the first time. It was so fun to be able to teach everyone the rules of like this game and try and get them excited. I felt like I was maybe a little more relatable too, since I was just someone else who backed the Kickstarter and not maybe like someone from the company or something trying to sell the game. And yeah, I'm really hopeful. I was able to like exchange some contact information and make some friends while I was there. I'm really hopeful that that will like turn into something great where we'll be able to see like a lot of new players who found the game kind of like joining our community moving forward. I did the demo so many times. I feel like I got pretty efficient at teaching the rules and really learned like what people get tripped up on. So I think I want to use that soon to make a video where I'll just do like how to play. Oh, nice, the Altered Robin Hood here for Lyra. Yeah, I want to make a video soon where I go over all the rules basically of Altered in like 3 minutes or something. Something that like if you're trying to teach your friend for the first time, if you like have people over, that you could like watch that, and it'll basically just be the exact demo I was just doing over and over at PAX West. Alright, so the trick here when we're looking for these unique, when we're looking for these golden boosters, I believe that they come with the 4 unique foilers, so I'm thinking those will all be at the back. So if we ever see multiple tokens, we know we're there, but it's not going to be this time. Got the Maw token. Let's see what else we got. Oh, wow, what a perfect pairing there. Okay, we got Lindua. Lindui. I was trying to like learn some of these pronunciations while I was at PAX, talking with Justin. Apparently a lot of the cards have different pronunciation depending on if you're in France or the US, even if like they're spelled the same. So yeah, I don't know if I was able to like iron out for sure how to say a lot of these cards, but we'll just keep doing our best. If you guys ever feel like I'm getting one of these wrong, feel free to let me know in the comments. Wow, that was definitely like the sacrifice pack right there. We're getting a lot of those strong Izmir sacrifice combo pieces. But yeah, PAX West, it was so much fun. I was basically working there from like 9:30 to 5 every day. I had about 1 hour for lunch and 1 hour at the end of the day where I would run and try and like go around to all of the places. I was able to get like a Star Wars Unlimited starter deck. I went to do the Pokemon demo in the morning one time, and I got one of those. I was basically just hitting up like anything with a card game. I was there. I actually did Flesh and Blood too, and while I got kind of skunked in the little starter deck tournament that I entered, I won the drawing and I was able to get this giant card of Enigma. Maybe I'll have to like show that near the end of the video or something, but yeah, it was a pretty big surprise. So I just walked out of there with quite a bit of merch. So yeah, conventions, and man, that's where it's at. Also, yeah, not hit another unique yet, but I think we should say about at least 6 of them per display, so hopefully we'll be running into another one of those soon. Just the one foiler here. Okay, it's a common foiler. Let's see. Atsadi. One thing I got to participate in a lot at Gen Con was some drafts. I actually, with the Asmodee group, at night we would have like pizza sometimes and do drafts, and anyone who wanted could participate, so it was super fun. I'd only played Star Wars Unlimited I think twice before I did the draft. I played it once just at like a local demo a couple months ago, and then I also played it at the convention to get the little Grogu promo card. I was able to play it like a second time there and get a refresher, and then that night we did the Star Wars Unlimited draft. I wasn't the fastest for sure. I had to read like all the cards. It was kind of messy. It's a little helpful. Once I kind of picked in my colors, I just started reading the cards only like of that color. At one point, I think I passed a pretty good colorless card because I was only reading the colored cards. Then I realized I needed to also look at the colored card, the colorless cards as well. But yeah, so I just started reading like half the pack to try and speed things up. One of my neighbors, he was a lot more experienced, and he kind of like figured out what colors I was going for, and he just started putting the card that he thinks I should draft. Basically, he would put it just on the top, so when he would pass it to me, so I started to just kind of figure out that he was like trying to set me up. It was kind of funny. A lot of the times I would end up taking the top card that he was trying to like hint at me to take, but there were a couple of times where I maybe disagreed a little bit and went with something else. One of the main things that I was like picking other cards for is they have like this mechanic. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if Altered will ever do something like it. But they have like a pretty similar mana system, and so they have a smuggle mechanic. If you know Star Wars, like all the smugglers, it pretty much makes sense. And basically, you can play a card from your mana essentially, and then you replace it with the top card of your deck. Oh, we got a little sneak peek there. Okay, let's work our way down to that unique card on the way. But yeah. I picked a couple extra smuggle cards. It seemed really strong to me to basically just play like a lot of cheap characters. I was playing Cad Bane, and I would just kind of like swarm the board, and then I think it was really strong. Oh, nice. We'll want to get a playset of these as well. Oh, yeah. Seeing the art going to the edges and stuff. Oh, Brassbook High. Oh, and then Hydrocana 2 here. Quite a good selection. I feel like all of these rares have been very playable. Intimidation as well. And the Mage Dancer to pair with it. This one's for Lyra. You may pay 1 if you do resupply. When you roll 1 or more dice, you may return a card from your reserve to your hand. Alright, I guess we got some recursion here, and I don't know if I love like the stats and the fact that you have to pay extra as well, but not a bad pickup for sure. But yeah, so I built this deck, this Cad Bane deck with like a lot of board swarm. I got some pretty powerful like spells that like boost the attack of your character so that you can like surprise your opponent kind of like last minute with some extra damage. And yeah, I had all these smuggle cards, and I ended up going winning the first 2 rounds of the tournament. They had some pretty nice prizes on the line, just like judge playmats from the past for Magic the Gathering and different things. And so I was able to get into the final. So at this point I knew I was going to win one of the 2 playmats that they had, and surprising enough, it was me and Justin. And Justin's like the organized play rep for Altered in North America, so it's like the 2 Altered guys made it to the finals of the Star Wars Unlimited draft. Between the 2 of us, we had like less than 15 games played ever. And oh yes, here we go. Yeah, we're really filling out that Waru deck right now with a lot of these pulls, so that's pretty nice. Maybe we'll have something like we can build like a full constructed deck to play with some of the people in the area. But yeah, Justin and me were the 2 that made it into the finals, and I didn't know the full card pool. I went like pretty wide, made this huge board. I had my hero out as well, and then he ended up playing a card that returned everything to my hand, but it doesn't return the hero. So I had like worked so hard to get this board advantage just to have everything wiped away, but even just having that hero left out gave me just like a little bit of an edge, and every time he would play something to like get rid of that, I could pretty much just stay like one, I don't honestly know what they're called, it's maybe units or something. I could stay like basically 1 unit up for the rest of the game, and I was eventually able to translate that into a victory. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. I'm still undefeated in Star Wars Unlimited, but I've only played 5 times ever. But it was pretty. Oh, and then another. Let's see. Hopefully this is great for Waru. When your opponent draws 1 or more cards or does resupply, gain a boost. At dusk, if you control a token, draw 3 cards. Well, that is quite a bit of draw. It's only a little bit more expensive than 2 more from the hand, 1 more from the reserve. I feel like one of the biggest weaknesses here is because it gains a boost itself instead of summoning a token. Even though it is maybe like a similar effect on the board, it will be a little bit weaker into removal, especially since they'll want to get rid of it to stop you from drawing. But yeah, that seems like a pretty fun and possibly powerful unique card, so exciting to see that. So let's see, we got the mana convergence, yep, on the back here. Alright, Fen and Crowbar. So yeah, it was fun and surprising. I got this nice I can't remember what it was called. It was like No Mercy or something was the card on it. This nice Magic the Gathering playmat. Maybe I'll try and add a picture of that after I record this. But it was cool. It had like a little bit of foiling on some of the words, and like the characters like kind of like head wear like a crown or something. And so yeah, maybe I'll show that to you all later. But it was fun and an exciting tournament. The mechanics they're very different games. On the surface, you might think that Star Wars Unlimited and Altered are like very similar with the two sides, basically, like the split board as well as the mana system, but the actual gameplay where you don't really have quick effects like things like attacking and lots of like the other stuff, they all taking the initiative, that all counts as an action. That's pretty different than Altered. And just like the win condition there of kind of like that, it is like a race to take out their health, but you could do it all in one round instead of Altered where it's like a lot more, you have to be like winning all throughout the game. So yeah, they definitely play different, even though there are similarities, but a lot of fun here. Maybe I'll try and turn my notifications off quick. Alright, let's see. Hopefully that wasn't like shaking the phone too much, but so that was the first draft. Then of course, after we did Star Wars Unlimited, we had to give them all a taste of Altered. So a lot of the staff, it was their first time playing Altered over the weekend, but they just got like stuck on it at the beginning. Another nice rare. Yeah, really getting a lot of these Warrior rares. I feel like Monolith Legate, I'd probably stick to the common, but you know, we'll take any rares we can get. So a lot of these people, they played now Altered for around like 4 days. We did the Altered draft on the last day of the convention, and so it was pretty interesting. I feel like there was a lot of new loyal Altered fans just from here. Let's see, we got the rare foiler. Just from doing the demos all weekend, a lot of them were like buying the product and doing the pre-orders. So I think, yeah, just as much as like the attendees, we were really able to convert a lot of the staff to Altered. And so, yeah, they were excited for the draft. We got like 10 of us to play in the draft. And I mean, I definitely have more experience than a lot of these people. I've been making my YouTube channel for like a half a year now. Got a pretty good taste of the card pool, so I feel one of the biggest things I found in draft is you want to get a really strong hero, because I feel like with all the cards in your deck, the hero, you'll have it. Oh wow, okay, that's nice. I want to get as many of these Sneezer Shrooms as possible. I love the art for this. I'll definitely be playing 3 in my Tasia deck. That's a nice card right there. All right, but anyway, yeah, for draft, I think your hero is probably your most important card. Unlike Star Wars, where you draft the heroes at the beginning and everyone gets one, in Altered, if you want a hero, you have to like choose to pull it from the pack and kind of like work for it a little harder. So, but when you get a good hero, you'll have that benefit every round for all of your matches, like every day of the game. And so I feel like even though there might be like a really strong spell or character that you could draft, you're only going to see that in some games when you draw the card, but it's not even guaranteed that you'll draw every game. I'd much rather have like a super powerful hero where you're getting the benefit from it every turn of every game. So basically, I'm doing all of this intro, but around like 2 packs in, I still didn't have a hero, and I was getting pretty stressed. You only open, I believe, no, you open 4 packs for an Altered draft. So I was about halfway through the draft and I still didn't have a hero. I'm usually looking for something like Tasia, Sigismar, Kojo, basically most of the starter deck heroes, because they all have like a really strong effect regardless of what cards you have in synergies. Things like Basira can be really good too. Maybe Aphanis. I feel like Aphanis is a little bit of a trap because it's going to be hard to get that many spells in a draft, but some of these other heroes, they can be good too, but you have to like know about them from the beginning. And so especially 2 packs in, I've mostly just been picking strong Muna, Bravos, and Ordis cards. So it's like, sure, like Basira and something might have been great to see at the beginning, but I hadn't been taking boost cards in particular. And so at this point, I really needed basically like one of the starter deck heroes. And around the same time where I'm like sweating, I still don't have a hero, I'd picked up 1 Robin Hood along the way, the common, and I just feel like that's like a pretty good card. I think a lot of people too, if it's their first draft, they're probably not going to be expecting it, so they might like plan out a pretty specific turn with no backup plan, and then if I like drop the Robin Hood, they might not have any way to like fill their turn out. Let's look at the Asmodeus quick. I'm already liking the hand cost and the reserve cost of 4. The stats are pretty good as well. Roll a die on a 4+ draw a card on a 1 to 3 resupply. Not bad, honestly. The returning a spell from your reserve to your hand, I mean, that's just like a nice extra thing. But yeah, the stats I feel like are pretty good for the cost, and as well the effect to draw. It's basically just like a slightly better croupier, I'd say. So yeah, not a bad unique to pull. I was thinking that we were kind of in like an Ortis box, but honestly, there's been a couple Lyra cards too at this point, so hard to say for sure. Alright, got the recruit. Nice, I think that might be the first Rin we've seen on the stream. This was one of the 6 promos we were giving out. We did start giving out like those third wave of promos, like the last of the heroes for the first expansion. So yeah, it was nice. I think it was the second event we were giving those out, so a lot of people were trying to complete their playset still. I was able to get one of each of them too, so yeah, it was just super nice to like add those to my collection. I'm excited for when I can use a foiler on them to really take them to the next level. But anyway, back to the draft. I got the Robin Hood. I just picked it up. It's a solid card. All of a sudden now, I get a second common Robin Hood, and I'm just like, wow, people just really don't maybe appreciate the power of this card. They're just passing them around, and then so I'm just like, what if I just start going for the bureaucrats? I just keep getting past all of these bureaucrats. I feel like people are thinking maybe they're either like too synergistic, and so they're not wanting to try and like build around them. They've already committed to a different strategy, or maybe they just don't understand them. But like I'm getting all of these bureaucrats, including at this point double Robin Hood. I got past a Waru earlier and didn't pick it because I had like no bureaucrats at the time, and I was certain I'd get like Tasia or Sigismar or something to just have like a more good standard hero that you wouldn't have to build around. But I'm like, nobody wanted Waru last time he got passed to me. Theoretically, there's usually around at least 2 in each display. So I'm like, what if I just like go all in on these bureaucrats and just bank that nobody here is going to want the next Waru and it'll make it around to me. So we were drafting with 10 of us, like I was saying. So we had a little bit more than a full display, I think, in play. And so you'll see each pack at least once. So I'm like, as long as that next Waru comes to me, I've already got double Robin Hood. I'm sure I can pick up some more bureaucrats in the next 2 packs. So I kind of just went all in on this strategy. I ended up getting 3 Robin Hoods, basically like 1 or 2 of all of the main bureaucrats. It was basically a constructed deck. I mean, the Robin Hoods, they were common, so not quite as annoying. Wow, I just keep getting those sneak peeks there at the end, but go wrong. Anyway, yeah, so I got this deck, and then pretty late, I don't know how many cards left I had, maybe 6. I get the Waru. It comes around. I had no hero at this point, and I'm like, this all came together. It was worth it. I was right. Nobody wanted Waru the second time either, and it came to me. Let's take a break quick and look at this. Alright, 1 cost, 1/1/2. Already looking pretty good from hand. From the reserve, we get a little bit more expensive, but we get this extra effect. If you control 1 or more landmarks, you may return a spell from your reserve to your hand. Alright. Not a bad 1-drop. It's not my like favorite effect, but we're just happy to pick up as many uniques as possible. I think, is that maybe like 3 or 4 now in the display, so doing alright. No promo cards and no Altered uniques, but at least we're just kind of hitting that unique checkbox here and there. And then, what do you know though, too, after I got the Waru with like 6 packs left, I think everyone had kind of the same idea as me, where they were trying to pick up a strong hero. And then though, for like the last 4 or 5 packs, almost every card that got passed to me was like a hero. So at the very end, oh, I actually like the Rare Frog Prince a lot. So yeah, I'd love some more of these to fill out my deck. I feel like the lower cost, even though the stats get a little worse, is just, it just makes it so much easier to fit it into your curve. I definitely think it's worth considering. But yeah, the last packs I got, it was like Tasia, and I didn't get Sigismar, but I got Kojo, and I got like all of these really strong heroes at the end. So I guess at the end, like, people just already had their hero and didn't need it anymore. So honestly, doing another draft in the future, I'm really not going to sweat the heroes as much as I did, because I feel like at the end of the round, like the last pack, you'll probably get a ton of them, just because people will already have like picked their heroes and not need the extras. Alright, so I got this oppressive Waru deck. There's only 30 cards in a draft deck, and one of them's the hero. So basically, like, your ratios are honestly a little better than constructed. I had a bunch of like really strong Bravos cards as well. Normally, I really like to see the Trooper to just be able to like play Bureaucrat and sleep at day one, or just have like some way to put a little bit of pressure on one side. And with the Bravos cards, I had a bunch of Isimboshi. I think I had like 2 of those and 1 Trooper, so it still felt like I had pretty good 1-drops to be able to like take one side on day one. Yeah, just a lot of good things going for the deck. I had Beauty Sleep. It was nice to be able to maybe just like re-sleep a Robin Hood or something like that. Some people you'll see some wild cards in draft. So people had all sorts of stuff. Like they were just playing like Cloth Dancers out of nowhere to give like your Robin Hood fleeting. And then you can just have the Beauty Sleep to keep it around another turn and kind of annoy them. I had 1 Hydrocana as well, but that never became relevant. Monolith Ortis Bastion, though, that was pretty important to this draft. We'll have to talk about that in a second. But yeah, it was brutal the first couple of rounds. I don't know if anyone had even like read Robin Hood before. Maybe they just saw like the low stats for the cost and passed it without like paying too much attention. So my first 2 opponents, I got double Robin Hood both times. I mean, you got 3 in the 30 card deck, so it's maybe not like unlikely, but it was a little bit brutal that I just kept getting the double Robin Hood. I think I actually had double Robin Hood almost every round of the event. So yeah, both of my first matches ended almost the same. I just like slept a Bureaucrat day 1. My mana, it was pretty funny. My mana was literally like all red every game, and then my hand was like basically a constructed Waru deck, speaking of. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Like if you were looking at my hand, you wouldn't even realize it was a draft because I just kept all the blue cards most of the time, and then maybe a couple green or red here and there. But my mana was like all of the red cards, which were maybe like a third of my deck. If I drew them, they were basically just going down there, which is kind of funny. But anyway, rare foiler. Could have a lot of foilers by the end of this. And especially I feel like with the local community, if we like trade and stuff, it shouldn't be too hard to foil like most of the main cards in our decks. Not bad. So the first 2 rounds, speak of the devil, we got the Robin Hood here, the common. We were drafting with Beyond the Gates like retail, so it was like the different art. But first rounds just coming in with those double Robin Hoods, the brutality. I had a charge even too, so we were like pretty set up. I think in my first game, I ended up, one of the 2 games I won like 7 advancements to 1. I felt a little bad because a lot of these people were like the demo staff who just learned the game, but Justin was playing in the tournament as well, the like US rep, so I was like, well, yesterday we made it to the finals of the Star Wars Unlimited one, and so I didn't really want to put off the pressure because I was kind of hoping to repeat the history basically again today. And so we also had playmats on the line. They had just like the Kybera, just generic altered playmat, but I don't have one of those yet, so I really wanted to win it to be able to just kind of like have it for the channel and whatnot. My stacks of cards are just overflowing off of the camera. There's just like so many cards in a display. It's kind of crazy. But alright, no unique there, but we've got a couple more packs. We got about, let's see, I think that was 9 more, so pretty good amount still. But yeah, so for the first 2 matches, both of my opponents played the Son of Yggdrasil on like the last day. They were like trying to, I guess, just do like a Hail Mary, play this giant character. But when I draft, I usually like to get about like 3 really strong removals. So I had 2 Sticky Note Seals, and I also had Mana Eruption. Wow, this is the one I was trying to remember the name, and there you go. The deck's helping me out. But yeah, I had 1 Mana Eruption and 2 Sticky Note Seals. Nice, another one of these. And so they would just play, I would have like Robin Hood out. They'd play this 7-cost Son of Yggdrasil. They'd be feeling good, and then it's just like Mana Eruption or Sticky Note Seals for game, basically. At that point, I already had characters on both sides, and yeah, so I was able to close out 2 games just by using a removal 3-cost card. So when you're doing your drafts, look out for those. strong removal cards. You don't want to have too many in your deck, or you could like draw them at the wrong time and have a handful of them. But if you have about one, you can just kind of hold it in your hand throughout the game, and when you need it, it'll be there. So at this point, I'm 2-0. We're kind of, the tiebreakers aren't working perfectly since there's not 8 of us, there's 10 of us. There's 3 of us that are 2-0 at this point, and the pairings come out, and it's me and Justin again. So it's round 3, just like the day before. Now it's me and Justin, and he's playing Sigismar. So Sigismar is probably like one of the top, like maybe even the best, just generic hero for draft. It's just like such a strong effect on its own. It lets you run a bunch of removals and things and still know that you'll at least have something on the board for pressure. And it can combo so well with a lot of things. Like you got like Boom that you could draft for Axiom. You have one like pretty strong card I feel like is Anubis, because a lot of people like won't be able to play a cheap card at the start of their turn as easily in draft. So you got like Boom, you got Anubis, you've got like so many things that are good with it. And as I mentioned before, the monolith, the Ortis Bastion, it was going to be important later. So Justin had managed to get 2 of those in his Sigismar deck, and he also had some like Foundry mechanics and things. I was watching, I like saw during one of my first matches, I looked over and he was playing the monolith on day 2. Yeah, that match didn't last long, so I knew that my removals were going to be pretty oh, there we go. I think it's my first rare Robin Hood of the like the Ortis kind. I think we actually got 1 Ortis and 1 Lear in this thing, so that's nice to see. But yeah, anyway, so Justin has like all these monoliths. He has a bunch of sabotage and removals. I think our first game, we ended up playing a best of 3, but our first game, I'm pretty sure he just like boomed my Thoth on the first day, which is fine for him. We both didn't advance, but it messed up my setup so that he could like take both sides the next day when I'm trying to play out my Robin Hood. And the first game, he had the monolith, and I didn't get any of my 3 ways to remove it. So maybe I could have put like a 4th in the deck, but I was also just worried about drawing too many of them at the wrong time. There's the charge. So yeah, it was rough. He had like ways to deal with the Robin Hoods I got, and I didn't have anything for the monolith. It got super grindy, but at the end I lost that to Justin. So that was all that mattered for the tournament. We were just doing best of 1s, but we had some extra time, so we decided to do a best of 3. So then the next match, so the first match we actually went first, and then the second match Justin went first. And when he went first, we were able to set up a bureaucrat without him being able to respond to it. So I wonder how important that was. But we were actually able to grind out the second match now, put us into a game 3. Both of these matches, though, we didn't have any of our 3 removals ever for him. But it turned out okay the second time. We didn't really need it to take out the monolith because we just had enough of our own bureaucrat stuff going on. But now, game 3. Pressure's on. I open, I think like a sticky note seals, so I hold on to it to be able to take out his monolith, and it gets a little awkward. I'm a little low on resources. Afterwards I found out he had like 8 removal spells. Maybe it was like 6. It was a lot, way more than I can normally afford to run. But with Sigismar, since you have the token, even if you just remove everything, you at least have like that little 1/1 out, so it worked pretty well for him. Oh, I think that might be our 3rd for the display, so that's pretty good. Anyway, so he had all of this removal. I was getting a little low on resources, and it got to like the turn where I thought he'd probably want to play the monolith out, and so I didn't have a lot of ways to delay my turn without using up like enough mana where I wouldn't be able to afford sticky note seals anymore. So I have to play the Paper Herald. I ended up playing Paper Herald 4-1 to a side without any water stats, because on both sides I wasn't in water at all. But I felt like it made sense to make that play so that I could basically just be a little bit more reactive and just choose if I want to sleep my bureaucrat or not, or if I want to use sticky note seals based off of what Justin would do. But I think that kind of telegraphed a little bit as well that I was like saving something powerful in my hand. So either way, though, he doesn't play out the monolith. I think later he said that he did have it, but at that point he didn't want to commit it to the board. I feel like that's a little bit of a win-win for me because, sure, I didn't get to remove the monolith for like a great trade, but also it meant he didn't play it either, so I wouldn't have to be worrying about it moving forward. The only problem, though, was there was this huge punish on the next day. For turn, I drew my other 2 removals. So I had, at this point, I had 2 sticky note and 1 mana. I already forgot the name again. Mana eruption. There we go. So that was basically GG right there. I just like had no characters to work with. My resources were pretty low, and at that point, I just had 3 removal spells in my hand. That might have been okay against any other deck, but against Sigismar with like multiple tokens and things, Justin was able to just like play like 2 or 3 cards on each side, like 2 or 3 characters. And so, yeah, there was really just nothing I could do at that point. Even if I removed something, he would just play a new character there, and so I'd basically just be wasting my removal spells for nothing because he'd still be advancing on both sides at the end of the day. So there, I ended up just passing the round without playing any cards, and yeah, at that point, he got far enough ahead, I just could never really come back. So yeah, that was an unfortunate draw. Part of the reason I was in that position is because he was able to play enough sabotage and removals that like I was lower on resources than I might have been, and then that in combination with just getting the wrong cards at the wrong time meant Justin was able to get the 2-1 victory in our best of 3 match. So he ended up getting into the top 2 with one of the other demo staff who was able to avoid both of us on that round 3 match, but because, I mean, Justin is from the company, he's got the access to Alter resources. He ended up giving me the playmat. He said I earned it, so still got to walk out of there with 1 playmat for each day. Now we're coming to our last pack. So we've been reviewing, I think that was most of the PAX West news. Looks like we're not going to get a golden booster in this display, but let's see if we can finish off strong here with a unique. Alright, a very questionable draft hero right here. Mechanical Training, Haven Warrior, Brass Bug Hive. This was a menace in the pre-built decks over the weekend. Okay. Coming in now. Here's the Monolith. I don't want to see that anymore. Some PTSD right there. Order Spy, Mana Channeling. I'd be interested to mess around with this card a little bit moving forward. See what kind of decks I can build when you get that extra mana. The Thespian. I think this can be pretty strong, honestly, in Tasia or something in the Muna version, but for Lyra, not too bad either. Celebration Day. One of the people in the draft, they built a deck that had the Izmir Bastion, and so they played it out. Then they played Mind Apotheosis, and then they got Kybera. So wild things happen in draft. Oh, wow. What a perfect finish to the display. This is so amazing looking. Holy cow. I've been looking at these online all the time, and I think it's one of like the more unpopular alt arts. When you just see the digital version and it's not shiny, it's kind of like whatever. You're like, sure, is it really as good as the other alt arts like Loki or Athena? But dang, that golden glimmer there on the top. Wow, and the foiling even through the water. It's just like a lot easier to make out the image when you have the full foiling on this card. So we've got the Kraken. It's an 8 cost from hand and reserve. 007. Got the effect you'll see on all of them. All regions are water and lose their other types. And then at dusk, if you control 1 or more landmarks, draw 3 cards. Pretty expensive, unique, but the 3 cards could be really big. I feel like, yeah, I'll definitely just for fun be trying this out in my Akisha deck. We'll see though how powerful it proves to be. Thanks so much for tuning in. It was great just kind of telling you guys a little bit about my PAX experience. After talking about PAX West so much, I thought I might as well do a little show and tell here at the end. So first I got this Zelda pin from the Nintendo booth. For one of my younger family members, I got this Five Nights at Freddy's 10-year anniversary gold coin, some of these holographic cards, so I'm sure they're gonna like those. I also went to the Pokemon Learn to Play for the physical trading card game. I got this cool pin here, and since I won, I actually got these demo decks too, so that was a cool, nice surprise. It has the Pikachu and Charizard demo decks. Still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with those. I did the Flesh and Blood. I think it was like a Blitz Learn to Play. I still don't know everything about that game, but I got the Dorinthia deck for participating in that. And as I mentioned, I got lucky with the drawing and won this amazing oversized Enigma card. I feel like the art on that just looks so cool, so I'll have to find somewhere I can eventually hang that up in like an office or something. I did some Star Wars Unlimited stuff too, so I got, for drafting, I got my Cad Bane deck here, and I don't think I got any like crazy hyperspace foils or anything from that, but I did get this, No Mercy Judge playmat. It's nice with like the little holographic elements that they've added to that. I feel like it looks pretty nice and has like the stitching on the edge and stuff, so I'll have to find some opportunities to use this later. And then too, just for doing the Learn to Play, I got this little Grogu event exclusive card, so that was cool to pick up as well. As for Altered, I was able to eventually collect a full playset of the promo cards, so that actually completes my promo collection. Very happy to have these all now. I got this unique in the draft. I didn't end up using it in my deck, but it draws a card from a reserve, and then if you control permanent, it goes puts itself in the mana. So just an interesting variation on the Tiny Jin. For beating Alex, who's a pretty big Snap, Marvel Snap YouTuber, I was able to win this pack. When I was on one of my breaks, I challenged him and won the pack. No unique or anything there, but just cool to get my first Beyond the Gates, like the non-Kickstarter version of the packs, basically. And then lastly, I was able to get this nice playmat with the Kybera on it. I got that from Justin for going 2-1 in the draft for Altered. And I mean, one of the other exciting news is I've actually made a game myself, and so I shared that game with some of my friends and things for feedback, and through some of their connections I got in contact to basically give a pitch for the game. So I'm possibly moving forward now in the process as well to get my own first game published. I had a ton of fun over the weekend in making this video. If you have any questions about packs, let me know in the comments. Make sure too to tell me how your pack openings are going. Until next time, thanks for watching.